pretty much covered that little bay right there, but you know, that doesn't discourage me at all not getting a bite, because I know that at some point, either today or tomorrow, maybe, you know, here in a couple hours after the sun heats it up more, there's going to be fish in here. But so I mean, I might even come back today and try it here in a little while, you know, with the same type of deal. It's just a matter of the fish wanting to move in. Maybe they're right underneath the boat right now, they haven't got under there. So, but I'm going to cover these two outside little points, these little secondary points, with a lipless crankbait. I'm throwing this TN70, you know. Red is, for some reason, in February, March, my favorite color. I mean, they just can't stand it. So it's a good bait to cover a lot of water pretty quick. And again, it's kind of like the jerk bait. You know, you try different retrieves. You know, let the fish tell you what they want. You know, sometimes they want it burning across there, kind of depending on how deep the grass is you're fishing, or if there is grass there. Sometimes you got to use a yo-yo technique, or sometimes just a slow medium retrieve is the best way to trigger them. Here I'm catching this, you know, the grass that was on these flats before the lake came up, but you know, it's one of my favorite baits this time of year. Is just a lipless crankbait. I mean, the fish, bigger fish, seem to just dial into them, and you know, you can find a little area where the fish are staged up, and you can catch them at will. You know, when you find that little sweet spot, and you know, I'm confident that there's fish somewhere in this area. It's just a matter of finding the bait they want, or a lot of times it's the time of day too. You know, it's kind of mid-morning right now, and maybe they don't really get fired up until this afternoon. So it's just kind of something you got to try hit and miss, and you know, a variety of baits. You know, and don't get discouraged just because you don't catch them early, or you know, doing your favorite technique on your favorite spot doesn't mean that they're not there. This time of year, a couple hours of difference is huge. You know, so the main thing is just to keep your baits in the areas where you feel like the pre-spawn fish are loading up, and sooner or later they'll bite for you. You know, when I'm fishing a lipless crankbait like that TN70, you know, I use it a lot in pre-spawn just to cover a lot of water, you know, and the depths I'm trying to fish is, you know, anywhere from like 2 to 12 foot, and again, use various retrieves. You know, the structure can depend on the type of structure you have in your lake. You know, if you have grass, or you have rocks, or, you know, stumps, things like that. Any deflection that you can make with a lipless crankbait, you know, will trigger those fish. You know, I'm throwing the Tackle Warehouse exclusive Powell SPOOK-TRAP rod. I mean, it's the best rod for throwing a lipless crankbait that I've ever found. You know, generally this time of year, the heaviest line I'll throw on a rattle trap like this is 15, just because I want to be working it out a little deeper. You know, if I do get on a bite and say the fish are in 4 to 5 foot of water, I'll go up to 17 and sometimes even 20 if there's big fish and a lot of structure you're trying to get them out of. I'm putting that on a REVO Premier reel, really smooth, really light, and you know, 15-pound fluorocarbon, 100% trilene, and you know, just use it as a search bait, and sooner or later you'll come across a big pot of them. Well, we just got done fishing this creek. You know, it's a pretty big creek, and there is some fish in here. It's just a matter of timing. But you know, looking across the lake, there's a main rock, kind of a chunk rock wall with some laydowns on it, just outside of a major spawning creek across the way here. So we're gonna run out here, and maybe more of the active fish are setting up on the main body type structure, waiting to move into those spawning areas. So I'm gonna run over there, throw a little crankbait down those chunk rock, pitch a jig in the main body lay down wood, and see what happens. You know, a lot of times it's just a matter of time of day when those fish inside those creeks that are willing to bite, you know, get triggered. So keep a positive attitude and keep plugging away and see if we can figure out what these fish are doing.